Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel, two-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, all-pro, record-breaking cornerback, and the last cornerback to intercept 50 interceptions during the 16-game season era. Yeah, during 10 seasons as well. How we doing out there? The Saturday night vibes. Y'all know we had to jump on here tonight and discuss a few of these games, man. Y'all let me know where y'all chiming in from, and let me know what y'all was excited about out there today, man. It was some young players that impressed. I was impressed by a few young players on a few teams getting it done out there today, like they're supposed to in the preseason. Y'all come on in, man. We're going to have some fun tonight, man, and we're going to get down to the bottom of this quarterback discussion, man, because I see a lot of one-sided talk going on Twitter, and I got to break it down. Y'all know Mr. Pick Six, the same way I intercept those passes, the way I see things differently than everybody else for some reason. You know what I'm saying? How we doing out there, man? Yeah, man. We had the Cleveland Browns versus Chicago Bears. We got the Cowboys versus the Seahawks right now. LA Rams versus the Kansas City Chiefs, man. What about that game? There's a few interesting things going on tonight, man. There was a few interesting things, man. Y'all time in, man. Like I say, we need to be at 100,000 subscribers. Why aren't we there yet, baby? They don't talk it like we talk it on Say What Needs to Be Said. So y'all come on in. Y'all enjoy the ride. Y'all let me know where y'all chiming in from. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to do a little Q&A here and there. But it's football season, baby. And it's time to get back into it. And I'm ready, man. If y'all can't tell, I'm excited, baby. Let's go. But yeah, man, the NFC. Hey, I'm afraid, man. The NFC East is up for grabs. Yeah, man, I'm afraid. It's not looking like it's just the Philadelphia Eagles or the Washington Commanders anymore, man. As funny as it sounds, the Dallas Cowboys might actually have the best chance at winning the division. Can y'all believe I'm saying that? But that's what I see, man. That's why we like to have discussions over here and say what needs to be said. We like to talk about things before everybody else see it. And that's what I see. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys actually win the division. You know, I expect them to be a much better team on defense with the new additions. You know, they got the Kenny Clarks, you got the Rashawn, the backer guy, you got Malachi Lawrence, drafted in the first round. Caleb Downs, I was hoping I could see a little bit of him today. They put him out there for a couple reps, let him get a little communications in, and then, you know, he had a few hits hitting there, and, you know, let him get used to NFL, you know? But yeah, that defense can't get any worse than it were last season. So I expect them to be a lot better on defense with the new additions, with the new coordinator. You know, got to get, if you can't beat them, join them. So you had to go, you know, tag in with Philadelphia and bring in the coordinator and see what that system and how they're operating, how we're operating over there, man, and then bring that to Dallas Nation. So that's what Jerry Jones did, you know. And we know with Dak Prescott and the crew, man, they're going to put up numbers. They're going to put up a bunch of numbers on offense. At what time of the game they're putting up all these hell of the numbers with the best wide receiver duo possibly in football? You know, I don't know how much meaningful those numbers are going to be. The point is to win the game. Put up the numbers to win the game. So we have to wait and see if Dak Prescott and the crew can actually put up numbers to win the game. But I think the Dallas Cowboys actually have a chance, you know, if they could just play a little bit of defense. I'm talking about a little bit of defense compared to last season, of course. They might actually have a decent team. So everybody don't be surprised. I know everybody loves the Cowboys. It's a time to be excited. I would be excited, man, because there's a big question mark in Philly right now. There's a big question mark in Philly. They lost the coordinators, and they lost the coordinator, and they lost some coaches. Then you got the A.J. Brown situation. Was he the problem? You know, can Saquon get back to playing at a high level, being, you know, that he's in his 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th season, right? Can he help Jalen Hurts carry the offense because the defense is going to be there? You know, is Devontae Smith a number one receiver? Can he carry the offense as a receiver and be that number one target for Jalen Hurts? There's a lot of unanswered questions. Then we have to see, can Jalen Hurts step up to the task, right? A lot of things to talk about. Of course, the Commanders. The Commanders are always a huge threat to winning the division. Jaden Daniels, he's an up and coming quarterback in this league, and he's going to be a problem to deal with. You got Stephon Diggs added to the team, then Terry McLaurin. Then they always play defense. The New York Giants, man. The New York Giants are the only team I see that don't have a chance at this division. New York Giants, I like to call Jackson Dart. He's the new Baker Mayfield in my eyes. A lot of entertainment. He's going to bring a lot of entertainment to the game. It's going to be fun to watch him. He's going to have the right things to say. He's going to be a little edgy. He's a streaky type player. He's have a fantastic game. Maybe come back, here and there. But he's not going to be consistent. And then you got him out there just being crazy, running around, getting hit. It's just going to be the New York Giants have a lot to deal with, And I'm afraid this might be the season the Eagles have to start rebuilding, mainly on offense. Like I said, I know the defense will show up and be there to win games or help the team win games. How will the offense respond and step up in those moments is what we're waiting to see, what I'm waiting to see personally, And tonight, tonight, the biggest thing I was surprised at is y'all won't guess, because I was high on one of these quarterbacks, and I was surprised to see Sam Howell ahead of Joe Milton III on the depth chart. Where they do that at? When did all of this transpire? Is it because Sam Howell had a significant amount of playing time for the Commanders? Shit, he was a turnover machine over there. I was really high on Joe Milton when he was with the Patriots. I thought he could develop into something special. It's unfortunate to see that he's going backwards and letting Sam Howell beat him on the depth chart, man. Sam Howell, he's a pretty capable backup quarterback, but come on, man, Joe Milton. I want to see Joe Milton. Then you got the Kansas City Chiefs, right, versus the LA Rams. What did we see in that game, right? First of all, the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a Super Bowl contending team with one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. Why would the Chiefs pick Justin Fields to back up Patrick Mahomes? I don't understand this. Are these teams just picking players to be on their roster and filling spots? Like I said about Sam Howell's a capable backup. Justin Fields is not a capable backup. He's not a capable quarterback. And then you bring in Justin Fields on a year that Mahomes is coming off of a serious injury, right? It gets to a point. When a player isn't going to progress or get any better. And that is who Justin Fields is. It is what it is. And let me tell you about Andy Reid. Andy Reid puts a lot of pressure on his quarterbacks. That's why they throw a lot of passes, and Patrick Mahomes is running around left and right. And I know he feels like Patrick Mahomes is a Superman, But he has to expect that everything will not be peaches and cream for Mahomes this season, just based off him coming off that injury, And when Justin Fields has to enter the game if something goes wrong with Patrick Mahomes, if the Chiefs are up 21 points, 28 points, if it's that close, I know it's not close, but if it's that close, just go ahead and chop that up as a loss, because Justin Fields ain't going to do a damn thing. Kansas City Chiefs needs to be in the market for a quarterback real soon. Anytime Justin Fields is on the depth chart, that's not good, ladies and gentlemen. That is not good. But Ty Simpson, I got to give him his credit. The draft pick, the 13th overall draft pick by the LA Rams, coming out of the University of Alabama. I was like, I didn't see much talent, much potential in him, but he's clicking. And I was surprised and I was impressed with him today. The first half, they played it safe. They moved him around a little bit and got him comfortable. Moved the pocket type plays where he could get completions. And then in the second half, they started, making things a little more challenging for him, asking him to sit in the pocket, right? In the second half, Ty Simpson made some nice reads and throws. Really nice. I don't know who all played, but he might have been played the best quarterback. He might have been the best quarterback out of all preseason so far. You know, he was patient in the pocket, and he really did a really good job executing the offense. So Ty Simpson, man, I can't be hard on him. I thought he was a draft pick that was drafted to be a backup quarterback. And that's not true. I thought he was drafted because of the relationship that between Alabama and the Rams coach and their agents and things like that. But that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. That's not the case. So, look out for Ty Simpson in the future. Matt, what's the quarterback name? Y'all help me out for the Rams. Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, man, maybe his time is running out very shortly. He's been around for a while. And that's another inaccurate quarterback. Y'all don't care what you say about Matthew Stafford. He might be cool and you might say he's one of the top quarterbacks, but not in my league, not in my days. My top quarterbacks was a lot more consistent than Matthew Stafford, and they thrived under pressure a lot more than Matthew Stafford. So that's what it is, man. Now the game, what everyone's been waiting on, the Browns versus the Bears. Shedeur Sanders versus DeShaun Watson. The game that everyone's been waiting on. Chicago Bears versus the Cleveland Browns, man. The power struggle for quarterback number one continues. And the goal for Todd Monken, he wants to see both quarterbacks operate this offense with the least amount of mistakes as possible. That's first. Then the next question would be, which quarterback is more of a playmaker, right, and keeps the chains moving? Like I said, when it comes down to Shedeur, will Todd Monken accept Shedeur as the playmaker he is and let Shedeur mature when it comes down to the little things? If Shedeur hits that man across the middle instead of throwing that interception, I would have came up here today and told y'all, it's time to name Shedeur Sanders the starting quarterback. But unfortunately, he missed that throw. That was a big throw. When Shedeur is in the game, the energy is different. The energy is just different. That's what I feel. Hell, I would even go out on a limb and say Shedeur Sanders is a more athletic quarterback than DeShaun Watson is at this point in DeShaun Watson's career. Watching Shedeur move around out there today and watching DeShaun Watson move around, it looks like Shedeur Sanders may be just a tad bit more athletic. That's what it looks like to me. But I don't see either quarterback separate themselves from this game, in this game. Now, on that interception by Shedeur Sanders, I knew the football got away from him, which resulted in a bad throw. I knew it before he talked about it as soon as he threw the ball, because it was very off. It looked very awkward. And everyone was ready to write him off because of that play. I wouldn't be too upset at that play because he's still growing. And that's an easy correction for Shedeur because he's always been an accurate quarterback. I would be more upset at the quarterback center exchange that resulted in the fumble than him throwing that interception, because that interception, we all know, if you know football, is very fixable.
What did you see on the interception?
What I see, the right read just slipped. It's the right read. It just slipped. So that's what makes me be mad a little bit because of it. But I don't, any decision I make, I know it's the right decision. I just didn't execute the decision, but the right decision was made. So every day I look and I see about decision making, like how's my decisions I'm making, and that's how I grade myself off of. Obviously, turn the ball over and all that stuff is not great, and it won't survive a long time in the league doing that. But as long as my eyes and my feet and everything was in the right place, being able to execute it just may happen. So I look at the positive of things. You know, I'm alive, I'm breathing. I'm able to come up here and talk to y'all. So, you know, I can't be that down.
Yes, like I said, an easy correction down in the chat. I see you in the chat, an easy correction. It's just the ball slipped out of his hands. It's about making an accurate pass, setting his feet. Shedeur Sanders and Todd Monken know what's up. Shedeur knows he left a lot on that field. Trust me, you've seen him smiling up there. He feels good about today. I'm telling you, he feels good about today. Just imagine if the football didn't slip out of his hands and he completed that pass. It would have been a wrap for this competition. Competition over with. It's a wrap. Also, some more positive things for Shedeur Sanders. That was really good execution by Shedeur on third down during the first series. The first series on that third down when they was expecting the blitz, and then him getting the team on one page to quick count. They was able to catch the defense off guard and give Shedeur Sanders enough time to hit that deep pass. That's how that play was designed. It was designed that way for the deep pass to give Shedeur more time, catch the pass rush off guard. Now, as DeShaun Watson, right? I saw a few plays where it looked like DeShaun Watson found his confidence. Looked like he was getting back to his old self. But once a little pressure started to penetrate through the line, he started reverting back to bad football. I think he's lost his confidence. I think he had lost his confidence in his offensive line at that point because he started watching the rush. Started watching the rush and not concentrating on keeping his eyes down the field to hit the correct pass. DeShaun Watson made a lot of errors, a lot of bad mistakes out there. Now, I was happy to see him get out there. Of course, he was out there. Today was a day for him to knock the rust off and just get back to playing football after 22, however long it's been. But he didn't push the football down the field. DeShaun Watson didn't complete a pass over 10 yards. His passes were all 10 yards or less. I want to see him push the ball down the field, make more plays down the field. You understand? Now, DeShaun Watson had 126 yards. Everybody's clapping it up. It looks good, right? It looks good. That screen play to the running back put most of the yards on DeShaun Watson's stats. Like I said, I will have to see more from him. I'm not convinced yet, and I'm sure Todd Monken isn't convinced. The only person who's convinced is Travis Switzer, the offensive coordinator. He is pulling for DeShaun Watson, and we're going to get into that. And if you think DeShaun Watson outplayed Shedeur Sanders because you're looking at the stats, you're highly, highly incorrect. You have to evaluate those plays. Shedeur Sanders had the drop pass. I think it was Gage. Gage dropped the corner route. Beautiful pass. Shedeur Sanders made a beautiful read in cover two. Shedeur made a beautiful read and threw the ball right over the cornerback's head, right in on the sideline. And number 84, Gage, dropped the pass. That was one play. You understand? But you can't really use those as a valuation where giving Shedeur the credit, as fans and supporters. But the coach, you look, you see plenty passes down the field what Shedeur was hitting. DeShaun Watson is going to watch the rush and hard for him to get the ball down the field. Now, those passes he had early off in the game, they were basic passes against basic defense. Not taking nothing away from him. I'm just telling you, I'm calling it like I see it. And the best time to evaluate a quarterback is during the 2-minute drill. The best time to evaluate a quarterback during the game is during the 2-minute drill. And what happened during the 2-minute drill? Watson wasn't really successful. By the time the 2-minute drill came, I seen DeShaun Watson already starting to lose confidence in himself. But overall, DeShaun Watson operation of the offense wasn't the best, but it also wasn't that bad. I think it was good for DeShaun Watson, for him getting back into football after having so much time off. For anybody else, any other starting quarterback, franchise quarterback, what DeShaun Watson did out there today would not have been good. But because that's DeShaun Watson, we have to accept that. And, it is what it is. Even though he's a $40 million contract. He's a $40 million contract, $40 million guy by default. Yeah. Now, if I'm Todd Monken, the biggest disappointment is obviously those turnovers. And the unforced errors is what bothers you, right? The quarterback center exchange. Shedeur letting the ball slip out of his hands. That happens. And DeShaun Watson, his little fumble issue, it was the same thing. He was getting ready to take off with the football during the 2-minute drill, watching the rush, and then tried to get rid of the ball at the last minute. Now, here's the power struggle issue. I can see the power struggle for QB1. Guys, it's right there, as bright as day. The play calling for DeShaun Watson, like I said, it was pretty conservative against conservative defensive play. When Shedeur entered the game, the offense opened up and pushed the football down the field. Does that mean they have more confidence in Shedeur because they opened up the offense and pushed it down the field? Or did the situation call for Shedeur to push the ball down the field? If you ask me, I think they're running the offense according to the player. Shedeur likes to get the football down the field. Like DeShaun Watson, we're just expecting to see him play football. I don't see any upside to DeShaun. There is no upside. There's no higher expectations. You understand? We're happy when he plays decent because of how bad he's been in the past. When Shedeur threw that interception, he was pulled from the game so he can focus on next week by Todd Monken. That was a great move because Todd Monken want to see Shedeur as the starting quarterback. Let me pull my quarterback and let him get ready and prepare for next week. I don't need anything else negative to happen to Shedeur to drive his confidence down. Todd Monken knows what he's doing. But it's still an issue between Todd Monken and Travis Switzer. Todd Monken, of course, he has the authority, but that isn't how you operate as a coach. You can't just put your foot down and say, this is my man. The team, the staff have to agree. So he has to let it play out. So Todd Monken wants Shedeur Sanders to win this battle. I'm telling you, he really wants Shedeur to win this battle. But man, let me tell y'all, man, there's this Dillon Gabriel guy, man. It's so funny to see him continue to get out of the field, especially that Kevin Stefanski is in there. Todd Monken, man, he is wasting his time with Kevin Stefanski draft pick, Dillon Gabriel. He's wasting his time. We've seen enough of Dillon Gabriel. It's time to give the rookie Taylor Green some reps and get him on the field and see what he could do. Dillon Gabriel is a non-factor anymore. He's not a factor. You know, he's a nice guy. He works hard. Yeah, all those great things. But let's see what Taylor Green could do now. And man, they have some weapons on offense. They have some speed and some young talent. KC Concepcion, man, he's going to be a serious weapon for the Browns. That guy could play. That kid can play. He's very hungry, aggressive, and he's a dog, man. You know, they got some young talent. I'm ready to see the Cleveland Browns go to work. I think they're going to be a lot more decent than people expect, especially if Shedeur wins this job. Shedeur, man, I don't know what else to tell y'all. You put the right tools around Shedeur, you put the right team, a right defense. The players out there on offense. You know, give him a little time to block and let him cook and get comfortable to playing how he plays and adjust to the speed of the NFL. Man, Shedeur Sanders is ready to go, man. He's going to be a hell of a player. I can't wait, man. I think tonight was a really good game, and I saw Shedeur. He was confident from the beginning to the end. The coaches was confident in calling the plays. The first play was a pass play. But watch out next week, man. I'm expecting a big game from Shedeur next week, man. What do y'all think? How do y'all think? Don't laugh at Green, man. Don't laugh at Green. We don't want to see Dylan Gabriel, do we? Taylor Green is a better option than Dylan Gabriel all day, right? Come on, right? I'm not saying we want to see Green at number 2. We want to see him in the game, period. We don't want to see Dylan Gabriel anymore. That's a waste of time. Yeah, I know, poor Dylan Gabriel, man. That's the nature of the game. You know, it's a cutthroat business. It's what have you done for me lately, you know? Says, my husband coaches football. He says, what makes Shedeur special is his ability to make everyone around him better. Yes, because that's what leaders do. I live my life like that. You know, everyone I'm around, everyone I touch, I'm going to do something, say something, see something that can make you better. You know, a lot of people can't accept that, you know, but that's what leaders do. That's what that energy does with Shedeur. He makes everyone better. He makes everyone want to achieve a success that they never seen before. You understand? Because that's what Shedeur and the Sanders family kind of give you. They give you some, you know, some excitement, some success, a success feeling that you probably can't even picture, you know? Just being around that energy, man. And I think it's cool. So yeah, man. Yeah, chat. Said quit, man. Watching Shedeur since he's transferred. I can tell you kids special. He can lead this team to a Super Bowl. Man, y'all funny, man, in the chat. But yeah, man, so, hey, man, next up, like I said, tonight was DeShaun Watson night to start because it's a away game. Next game is going to be home. Perfect time for Shedeur. He has to calm down. He can't let the crowd get to him and get too excited. Man, you start getting out of your mind, and you know you can't start feeling it like it's a regular season game though. But I'm excited, man. Last thing on this segment right here. If Todd Monken didn't want Shedeur to be the starter, he would have already named DeShaun Watson the starter. I'm telling you. Travis Switzer is pulling for DeShaun Watson. Todd Monken is pulling for Shedeur Sanders. That's what it is. So we're going to see, man. By the next game, maybe this week, we should know a starter, but we'll see, man. We'll see. It's first year for Todd Monken, man. And I really like how he's handling things. Much different than Kevin Stefanski and staff. So we'll see. All right, next up, man. We got the NFL and the policies, and I couldn't believe this, though. Terrion Arnold, we talked about him. And I said his career was over after being accused of some of the craziest things I never even heard football players be accused of, man. But I gotta come back and correct myself because, man, I lied. I lied and said that Terrion career is over. Man, Terrion Arnold is back, baby, better than ever. Woo, back like he never left. Back in my playing days, he wouldn't stand a chance getting back in the league after being accused of something like he's been accused of. You understand? You damn near couldn't get a parking ticket back in our days. They were looking for reasons to kick us out of the league. Terrion Arnold has signed with the Seattle Seahawks, if you haven't heard already. You know what that tells me? With Terrion Arnold being granted bond and now him signing with the NFL team, this tells me his case is about to get dismissed, or the more serious charges against him are about to be dropped. And when I seen how the judge was so lenient on Terrion during this bond hearing, right? I could tell, man, that favor was on Terrion Arnold's side. And now he's back with the team with bond granted.
I hear you, Mr. Riley, and I understand the principal theory in Florida. What distinguishes Mr. Arnold from those other 6 is he has no hands-on. He never goes into the apartment. There's nothing on his phone, on his social media, on his texts. What the state has to connect Mr. Arnold through the principal theory currently is the testimony of the two co-defendants that were facing life in prison, who this court didn't have the ability to personally judge their credibility. I have no doubt that that is what they said, but that's going to be a very important thing for the state to get to the fourth quarter in this process. So at this stage, to grant the state's motion, the burden is higher than probable cause. It's either under 903.046, substantial probability, and no conditions regarding safety, or under 907.041, proof of guilt evident or presumption great. And as I said, we're early. We're in the first quarter. But the state just isn't there at this point. So I can't grant the state's motion. I do find probable cause based on all of the stuff that you've argued so eloquently and put together. It's complex, it's complicated, and you and the detective have done a very good job of helping me understand. I have 10 pages of notes that I wrote throughout the testimony, and I do believe I have an understanding of it. I understand your argument regarding motive. I understand everything, and I find there's probable cause. But I'm going to set bond, and I recognize that that's different than the other 6. I even heard one of the pretrial detentions on 2 or 3 of the other 6. But as I said, the distinction in those cases was that they were there. They went into the apartment. They had hands on, except for Jasmine, I believe, who wasn't there. Who wasn't in. But there was other testimony related to her. So at this stage, I find probable cause, but I don't find the higher level to grant the state's motion for pretrial detention. So I'm going to deny the motion, but it's a serious case. It's serious crimes that I am finding probable cause of, and I'm going to set bond. And that bond.
But there you have it, right? You heard the judge says he's going to set bond. When you're in a predicament or a situation like Terrion Arnold, and you hear the judge reading, and you don't know what he's about to say, and you see that the judge is on your side, man, that is a wonderful feeling. That is a great feeling, man, to hear that the judge is on your side when he can put it to you. He can give it to you, right? And if you remember, Terrion Arnold, he had that biggest smile on his face when he realized bond was being granted and he was getting out of jail. He had on that orange jailhouse suit, looking like a criminal. And man, he was smiling like a baby at the candy store. And the price of fame, man, it costs a few dollars. That's just the way it is. The price of fame, it costs a few dollars. This case is about money for the system. I bet the witness in this case probably is going to recant their story and whatever they told the prosecutor, and there it will be no more case. You know, but it's so the NFL is way more lenient than it used to be. That's what we're here to talk about. The NFL policies, man, you could damn near get away with unaliving somebody at this point. The amount of players that are just being let back in the NFL. And we see James Pierce Jr., sorry. He's he was issued an 8-game suspension for the situation he just went through. But Terrion Arnold, man, he needs to change his life and give his life to the Lord for the blessings that have come down on him, you know. But hey, it all starts from the top, guys. I know some of y'all aren't going to like to hear this. And it all starts from the top. You know, since we have a convicted felon as our president, felons deserve another chance. The head man in charge sets the standard. So it's only right? Hey, shout out to the super chat. I see you now. We're going to get to you. Shout out to the super chat. Appreciate you. But yeah, if the head man in charge is a felon, a convicted felon, how are we supposed to feel in America as citizens of America? I'm just saying. Now, we got to see James Pierce Jr. in 4K acting like a maniac when it came to the cops. This guy acted like he was out of his mind. And he put the police actually on a chase. They was right there surrounding him. Where was he going to go? And like I said, he was issued 8-game suspension. Y'all remember this. Check it out.
I'm not moving nowhere.
I've been here in front of the
nowhere.
station. Hey, get on the floor!
I'm not moving nowhere.
Get on here!
No, not to your sergeant. Don't touch me. No, don't touch me.
Hey, get the fuck off the car!
Get
the fuck off the car! Get the fuck off the car!
No, nigga, she right there.
What's going on?
Nah, don't ask me that now.
Something about right man. Get the window
He
down.
has my car. I want my car.
Okay, but let's talk. Come out here.
No, she right there.
Okay, so he's inside the car. Yo, do not move.
No.
Let me see your hands.
Both my hands on the wheel.
This is
Okay,
wild,
so keep
man.
coming.
This is a wild situation.
Yo, put the window down, bro. So she took the car?
I came to pick up my car because I told her she couldn't drive it no more.
Okay, but why
And
you
then
guys
she
ramming into each other? What?
I
Hold on.
ran into her. I told her to
Come out the car.
Sure.
Come the fuck off the car. Get the fuck off the car.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Making a bad situation worse. Now, a situation like that, and if y'all haven't seen the full clip, man, y'all go search it up. But he put the police on a full chase through the community, acting reckless, right? That is one of the worst, most bizarre cases. When it's caught in 4K and he was issued an 8-game suspension. Now, I'm happy to see NFL be more lenient these days. Yes. But back in those days, man, he wouldn't have sniffed the NFL no more. Like I say, I'm happy. Second chances are deserving in a lot of these cases. Now, when you're talking about people with these heinous crimes and, I don't want to say certain words on here and messing with minors and taking things from women, unaliving people and things like that, you can't have that, right? So I don't think I hope we got the Ray Lewis situation, but that was a whole different issue. He didn't actually partake in anything. He was just in the vicinity. That was part of his crew. Like I said, I'm happy to see the NFL be more lenient. I remember a situation, Quincy Carter. I don't know if y'all remember this quarterback, played for the University of Georgia, was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. And basically he got blackballed out of the NFL because he was a marijuana smoker. Right? He was a marijuana smoker and they blackballed him out of the NFL because coaches, owners, and the higher ups basically, they looked at basically a black man playing quarterback, smoking marijuana is an idiot, a dummy, a fool. So he can't play quarterback on my team. He doesn't have the ability to learn and process things. I don't want, you know what I mean? It was just so many different narratives they created to blackball this man out of the NFL. Now it had rules and things and policies that was being broken. But imagine now the NFL and the higher ups acting how they did with the quarterback or a player because they smoke marijuana, right? That's how I look at things. Just because it was 15 years ago, it's still the same thing. Y'all just catching on, Yeah. But you can't put the police on the chase after a DV dispute, man. That is crazy. In those situations, it's best to be nice, cooperative. I'm always nice. I'm always respectful when the authority got me. Now, if they come up to me acting like an a-hole, right? I'm going to give them that type of energy back. But the goal is to get out of this situation as best as possible and running, acting crazy, talking loud, thinking you got money and you can act how you want, man, that ain't going to get you nowhere in life. And I've learned that so many times. And I'm gonna tell y'all one story that I dealt with dealing with the police. And this is an honest story, right? And I probably told it, y'all probably heard it once or twice, if you've been rocking with me. But I was harassed and profiled a lot growing up, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, because I started driving early, 14-year-old, 15-year-olds, right? And then us back then, driving through the hood with tinted windows, we always looked like a target, someone that wasn't doing something we were supposed to do. And that's busting licks, selling a little dope, right? So I would always get pulled over by this one cop. It was one street. It was like he was targeting me. And just so happened, I started going back to school. My middle school years, I didn't really go to school. I would do a lot of skipping and not go to school because I didn't understand what school was really for. Then I learned that I had to get the grades to play sports. So I stopped skipping and I went to school, because I wanted to get the grades to play sports. So that started in 8th grade. Then I got to 9th grade. We had these 3 classes, the trimester. So yeah, I had 2 electives in math. Math was my subject. I love math. I can do math and be done before everybody. That was just my thing. My mom said, because I love to count money, right? So those 3 classes, 2 electives in math. I had straight A's. It was the trimester. I had straight A's. It was ever the first time I ever had straight A's in my life, but it was only 3 classes. So I put that report card in my glove compartment. And when the police officer pulled me over, I would give him my report card and I would tell him, man, I'm not who you think I am. I'm not like what you think I am. Look at my report card. And honest to God, I remember this day like it was just there. It was in front of a club in the hood called Strawberries. You riding through, cars is back to back, everybody playing their music. He pulled me over, he opened the door, he looked at my report card, and man, he just smiled and grinned and he let me go. And I know it was so much more he wanted to tell me at that moment, but it just showed me how much doing right and doing things the right way can lead you to so much more beneficial things, man. So yeah, it's just how you handle things out here. Gotta handle things the correct way to get favor. But you running around acting crazy, ain't gonna get you nowhere in life, man. Ain't gonna get you nowhere in life. What do y'all think about my story, man? I'm always trying to figure out things where there's a reason I never caught a charge. You never seen me on the mug shot. Man, coming from where I come from, everybody go to jail. Broward County, y'all know about the system. They giving you football numbers, man. They are putting you in the system down here. And I pride myself. I'm not the most honest person the most innocent guy in the world, right? I didn't grow up with a father or uncles or big brothers. I kind of had to learn everything on my own. So it was some trial and tribulations out there, right? But once I started learning the right way and what I needed to do to help my mom and myself get out of our situation, I kept myself on the right path. I was always a hustler. I always had money. I started off cutting hair. I was 8 years old, starting cutting hair. We'll have grown men coming to my house at 10 years old. That's the craziest thing in the world to me. It's a true story. I was doing tattoos at 10, 11, 12 years old. So I always had that hustler mentality, as y'all can see right now, right? The NFL kind of throw you off your pivot. That was the most important thing. But, now, same thing, man. Just out here hustling, grinding, being an entrepreneur, and basically trying to be a example and role model for my kids, because that's what it's about. But at first, I did everything for Mama Chris. If you from Lauderdale, you know Mama Chris. I didn't have a purpose. My purpose was Mama Chris. Everything she desired because she sacrificed so much for me. There wasn't no man taking me around nowhere. I had coaches as mentors. My mama sacrificed everything. She took me to practice. She took me to coach's job, dropped me off so I can learn, because there wasn't nobody immediately around to help me learn. She was there. She was my rider. She knew something. And she signed me up with football before it was popular, without a man around. She threw me right out there, and I cried like a dog every day. I did my son the same way. We cried for a year straight, and we made it, baby. And we made it. And I like to tell parents, man, if y'all haven't heard this from me before, don't let your kids choose what they want to do. You make them do a lot of different activities. You don't say, I didn't let him play football because he didn't want to play football. I didn't let him play basketball because he didn't want to play basketball. I didn't let him play track. No, you make them do these things, right? Because they're going to learn more than just sports. You're going to learn teamwork. You're going to learn discipline. You're going to learn how to sacrifice. You're going to learn resilience. You're going to learn adversity. There's so many things that I learned from sports, as well as, being in the neighborhood and things like that. So that's my word to everyone out there. And I hear these parents, I didn't let my kid, if my mama let me do what I wanted to do, I wouldn't be nothing. You understand what I'm saying? I would be nothing. So I just hate to hear that, man. I hate to hear that. But let's get to the chat, man. How we doing out there? Say no hate. No, it ain't no hate, man. This is all the discussion. We here to have fun. Say no hate. I think Shedeur is the answer for Cleveland. Cleveland has a quarterback curse. Shedeur is the least likely quarterback candidate to break it. Say I don't think Shedeur is the answer. Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion. And you can possibly be right. Shedeur may not be the answer, but based on his history, based on him going to Jackson State, based on him being at Colorado with his dad, he has more of the abilities to get it done than whoever else is there at quarterback. So we have to speak about right now, right? Unless you think DeShaun Watson. Now, if you're still here, come talk to me. If you think DeShaun Watson is the better option right now, I don't see how that could possibly be the answer. If you're still there, come talk to me. Who is that? Angie man hashtag. Yeah. Y'all let me know, man, because I just don't see how DeShaun Watson is the better option. Where's the upside? What did he do today? What did he do that was impressive? I didn't see too much of anything. So it was fun rocking with y'all tonight, man. Saturday night vibes, man. A few more games coming on tonight, and the regular season is right around the corner. Wednesday, we have Wednesday football coming up in the NFL. What do you know, man? The NFL is continuing to expand and grow. And you know what we're going to talk about too? The battle for cornerback number 1 up there in Pittsburgh. There's a battle. Asante Samuel Jr. is in the mix, man, and he wants that. He wants to be a starting cornerback. You got Joey Porter, then you got Jamal Dean, right? I'm sure Joey Porter is surely going to be there, but right now he's out, having a contract issue. Then you got Jamal Dean, who they just signed. My son has to be extra good. He has to be extra impressive to crack that starting lineup. And the dog that he is, the instincts, the pedigree, I expect him to be the starter. No excuses, baby. Ain't no excuses. So we're going to talk about that later, man. And I love y'all. Man, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Now, like I said, man, there is no reason we should be over 100K subscribers. Y'all get us to 100K subscribers. Y'all, share a friend, tell a friend. Get us there, man. We working. Appreciate y'all tonight, man. It's your boy Asante Mr. Pick 6 Samuel. I always love y'all. I hope y'all love me back. And we got to come up with an anthem or something for the Say What Needs to Be Said crew, because we some riders, man. And we gonna learn. We gonna learn together, baby. Mr. Pick 6, Asante, Mr. Pick 6 Samuel. I'm gonna see y'all next time. I hope y'all enjoyed that energy. I am.